So what does this and this have in common? That back in 2021, Just Imagine came out. It was a DC published, and Stan Lee wrote these stories about DC characters, his take on DC characters. And of course, I had to do my take on the Batman over here. This comic was also drawn by the late, great Joe Kubert, who's an amazing artist too, even has a school in Dover. So let's dive a little bit, or glide, into Stan Lee Presents The Batman. Story starts with Wayne Williams, our main character, who's with his mom, and they're at the burial of his father, who was a police officer. And they're talking about how he did his job and how he died in line of duty and stuff. And the son's heartbroken, so is the mom, but the mom's trying to make sense of it. So they're walking by and they see a bunch of guys throwing hands on this poor guy. Oddly enough, the main guy, the big guy, is like this kingpin type character. His name is Hands. And they're beating up a guy, and the son Wayne kind of tells his mom, oh, the guy probably deserved it, and they keep walking because he doesn't want him or his mom to get into any trouble. Now Wayne's thinking about how, he has to pay more bills and stuff and help his mother because his father passed away. And he's working with a scumbag boss, and he's taking crap from him. And he sees Mr. Hands and his girlfriend walking, and Wayne kind of has an eye for the girlfriend, just like that. All of a sudden, as a drive-by, these guys come out and start popping off at Hands. He ducks, he leaves his girlfriend behind, and Wayne runs out, jumps the girl to protect her from getting stray bullets. Now, instead of being grateful, Hands ends up kind of feeling disrespected and starts a fight with Wayne, telling him, why are you touching my girl, blah, blah, blah. So then Wayne tries to fight back, but he's not big enough for these hands. The girl stops Hands from breaking his fingers, and they walk away. A little later in the day, a couple of people show up to rob the store. I wonder if it's connected. The store gets robbed, the owner gets shot in the shoulder, and poor Wayne gets knocked on the head. If you notice in the corner there, someone has a gun in his hands. If it wasn't bad enough, poor Wayne gets arrested. He gets put on trial. His boss ends up saying he was probably part of it. They were fighting over the money. Then he had the gun in his hand. So he goes to jail for a while. Poor guy. And his poor mom. Wayne's in prison thinking about everything and how Hands probably set him up. And then all of a sudden these bats are out the window and he starts feeding one, and one keeps coming back. And he's thinking about how much those two are alike, kind of like how they're ostracized and alone, and how people don't trust them. Now this big guy picks on this little old man and starts lifting him just because he wants to lift something heavier. Now Wayne, being the person he is, ends up kind of telling this guy, put the guy down, he did nothing to you. And of course the guy socks him in the face and throws him around a little bit. Now the old man is telling him thank you, and he's saying in here you should exercise your mind and your body. Now Wayne's in prison doing his time, working out, getting big. Cue to montage. And the old man was saying how he's gonna get released soon, and he wants Wayne to keep in touch. And also the old man's an inventor and holds a bunch of patents. Wonder if that's gonna work out later for Mr. Wayne. Now poor Wayne finds out his mom passed away while he was in prison. His poor mom, knowing he went to prison, not knowing he's innocent, so he's pissed. And then we have a cult for some reason. And the cult leader is saying how they're bringing chaos, blah, blah, blah. One of the corrections officers was one of the, cult guys, and he lets out all the inmates for some reason. The big guy from before now wants to kill the warden. They got to the office. And then Wayne stops him. Since Wayne's bigger and stronger now and was training, he was able to throw this guy. Wayne ends up beating all the guys up, but he stays behind. The cops come in and wonder why he didn't leave, and he says, I know why. He's remembering the honor that his mom taught him. Now, Hands ends up reading the paper and saying that this guy was pardoned because of his brave acts and well behavior. So now he wants to kill the guy because he figures Wayne can finger him. But him being Hands and all, I don't know. Now, Wayne getting out of prison, having to start over, figuring out now that most likely Hands found out he's out and is probably going to gun for him at some point. He takes his bat friend home with him to a hotel area, and now he's trying to figure out what to do with his life. and how to get revenge on these hands. So the first thing he does is change his look, gets rid of his hair, right, bald and beautiful, and then keeps a mustache because he didn't have one when he was younger, and he's watching TV. And he sees wrestling. Stan Lee loves his wrestling. And he decides that he shall become a bat with the right fabrics, of course. He goes to the wrestling place saying that he is a new wrestler. Call him Batman. He knows how to sew really well, by the way. But he learned that in prison. He has to beat up a guy in 10 seconds, and he does, a la Peter Parker and Crusher Hogan. And he works his way up the wrestling food chain, becoming a superstar. See, book deals, vitamins, you name it. TV shows, all that. And he becomes so rich that he ends up getting a manor, just like Bruce. Now Wayne is ready to throw hands with the hands, and he finds the old man, and they come up with a plan. Now the old man ends up being so great at what he does, he gives him night vision, super hearing, Kevlar, the ability to fly. So yeah, he definitely found the right person in prison. Now Wayne finds where Hands is hanging out, and he goes to confront and throw hands. These two start banging out. Looks like Wayne has the upper. Their fight takes him outside to the roof, where it's getting down and dirty. Both of them are getting their licks in, until Wayne throws Hands off the building. Bye, Hands. He goes kind of happy about what he did, and the girl comes out saying he shouldn't have murdered, blah, 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 and for some reason he's in love with her, I guess, saving her from the car. You know, maybe like it's connected to saving his mom or something. I don't know. But anyway, he ends up wanting to get her a job as a secretary, maybe with the old man or whatever, and they walk away. And here we have the cult's back, talking about the end of the world and blah, 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 blah. And of course, the cult is after Batman for some reason, because he's bringing order to the chaos, I guess, and let the game begin. So they say. And then in the end, we see this cool thing with the Batman's newspaper getting thrown around the city and people looking at it, giving their opinions or whatever. So the paper flies around the city. Then it ends up on this little kid's face. The kid puts a dirty newspaper on his face, and he wants to be Batman now. So tell me what you think. If you read this before, if you... what's your thoughts on Stan Lee writing a Batman story? Was it too reminiscent of other stories from Marvel? Give me your take. Let me know in the comments. Everyone, stay encouraged and look for more Marvel and DC team-ups. I have a bunch if you're interested, so let me know. Take care.